Hi guys, good day, it's me, Teacher MJ. Our topic for today class is we're going to calculate the standard deviation and describe the variability of the values. So without further ado, let's do this topic. Once again class, if this video helps, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So we have given scores of two students from a series of quizzes. So we have student A, the scores that would be 85, 88, 90, 92, 91, 87, and then 89. For student B, we have given scores. We have 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, and then 100. First question is we're going to calculate the mean and then standard deviation. Now you need to remember this one class that we do have two formulas in finding the standard deviation. We have what we call the population standard deviation. We also have what we call the sample standard deviation. Now, in our previous video class, we actually solved class for the sample standard deviation, and this will be the formula class. So once again, class, if you want to learn more with regards to sample standard deviation, I will just put the link on the description down below. Feel free to see the video class. In today's video class, we will be focusing class on the population standard deviation. Now, question, sir. When do we use the population standard deviation? Now, you will use this one class when the data includes everything you're studying. Now, you will use the sample standard deviation when the data is only part of the larger group. Let's check in our given example class. Scores of two students from a series of quizzes, and we have all the scores for student A. Once again, we only have two students, right? Scores of two students, so therefore we only have two students. Now, we have their given scores. Therefore, class, we all have the complete quiz performance. Therefore, class, we will be using the population standard deviation. You will be using this formula, class. Once again, class, when the data includes everything you're studying based on the given class, we have given all series of quizzes scores for student A. We have 85, 88, 90, 92, 91, 87, and then 89. We have the complete data class for student A. We have the complete data for student B. We only have two students. We have for student B 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, and then 100. Therefore, class, the data represents the complete quiz performance of two students. Therefore, class, we are using the population standard deviation. Simple as that, class, that you need to remember. When do we use the population standard deviation? If you have given complete data, class, if you have all the complete data. Now, for sample standard deviation, let's have an example class for sample standard deviation. Now, you will use the sample standard deviation, of course, once again, when the data is only part of the larger group. Let's have example class. Example, a teacher randomly selects 5 students from a class of 30. Once again, class, a teacher randomly selects 5 students out of 30. 5 students from a class of 30. Therefore, class, we only select 5 students to analyze their quiz performance. And these are the scores. We have 75, 80, 85, 70, and then 90. Therefore, class, we only select 5 students out of 30. So, therefore, we will be using the sample standard deviation with this given example. But in our example for today, of course, we have given the complete data. Therefore, we will be using the population standard deviation. So, in today's video class, I will just give you the direct answer class for population standard deviation and then for population mean, because we don't have enough time class, because we're going to interpret the data. On the next part of video class, we explain this one class. We will have an example for this one, same example, and then we compute the population standard deviation step by step. So, if you want to learn more class on how to compute this one for the population standard deviation step by step, feel free to see the video class. I will just put the link on the description down below. Once again, class, in today's video class, I will give you the direct answer for the population standard deviation and then for the population mean. And then we're going to interpret the data because it will really take time, class, because we're going to interpret the data with our given example. So once again, class, let me just repeat it back. This will be the formula for population standard deviation. So once again, standard deviation, that would be the square root of variance, right? Now, since we are dealing with population standard deviation, that would be the square root of the population variance. Let me just explain this one class for you to understand this one. The formula class for population variance So this will be the symbol for population variance. It's like letter O with a line on the top and then squared. So this is what we call the population variance. So population and then variance in the formula. So that would be summation of X, the sample, minus U. Now you will be asking questions, sir, what is U? Now U, class, that will be the population mean. The difference, class, with regards to this one, the sample, X with a bar, it means mean. But for population standard deviation, U here is what we call the population mean. So it's not mean, that will be the population mean. So once again, class, we have the sample minus the population mean all over N. For the sample, that would be N minus 1, right? Now, for the population variance, class, that would be over N. Okay, once again, class, that would be over N. To get the population variance, the formula, that would be population variance. It's like letter O, underline on the top, and then squared. Population variance, we call this one population variance, is equal to summation of quantity, or open parenthesis X, the sample, minus the population mean, close parenthesis, and then squared. Do not forget squared, all over N. Of course, to get the population standard deviation, that would be O with underline on the top. That would be the population standard deviation is equal to, simply get the square root of the variance. Once you get the square root of this one, the variance, so E, we have the sample minus the population mean squared over N. Once you get the square root, that would be the standard deviation. That would be the population standard deviation. Alright, once again, class, I hope it's clear for you, class, with regards to population standard deviation. This will be the formula, class. The difference, class, is just this one. For population standard deviation, that would be only N. For sample standard deviation, that would be N minus 1. Okay, once again, class, for the variance, population variance, that's only N. For sample variance, class, once again, the sample variance, the formula for sample variance, that would be S squared is equal to summation of X minus the mean, then squared, over N minus 1. For population variance, that's only N. For sample variance, that would be N minus 1. So for the population mean and then the mean, they will have the same answer, because if you want to get the population mean, simply add the samples divided by the total number of samples. They will have the same answer, class, for the population mean and then for the mean. Alright, so once again, class, I hope it's clear for you, class, with regards to this formula. But once again, class, do not be worried, class, because in our next video, class, we will be finding the population variance and then the population standard deviation. Same given numbers, class. This one, 85, 88, 90, 92, 91, 87, and then 89. And then this one for B, we're finding the population standard deviation and then the population variance, class. So feel free to see the video, class. So in today's video, class, we'll be answering directly the mean. So for the mean for student A, so let's do that. So student A. Alright, so student A, and then we have student B. So once again, we are using the population standard deviation because we have given complete data for A and B. Alright, so for student A, the population mean, once again, to get the population mean, simply add the samples divided by the total number of samples. Same with the mean, class. To get the population mean, simply add the samples divided by the total number of samples. So if you add this one, 85 plus 88 plus 90 plus 92 plus 91 plus 87 plus 89, that would be 622 divided by 7 because we have 7 samples, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so the answer, class, for the mean, that would be 88.86. Alright, and then for the standard deviation, so standard deviation is equal to 2.23. So once again, class, we will have another video, class, in which we are finding for the population mean and then standard deviation. That will be the next part of video, class. Feel free to see the video, class. Alright, and then for student B, the population mean is equal to, once again, if you add this one, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, and then 100. The answer, class, is 595 divided by 7, and the mean for student B, that would be equal to 85. And then for the standard deviation, that would be equal to population standard deviation, that would be equal to 10. Alright, so that would be the answer, class, for number 1. We will just answer it directly because we don't have enough time because we're going to interpret the data. Alright, so let's interpret the data, class. Now, you need to remember this one, class. Once again, class, you need to remember this one, class, that if you have greater standard deviation, data points are farther from the mean, indicates higher variability and low consistency in the data set. Now, if you have lower standard deviation, data points are closer to the mean, indicates lower variability and high consistency. Let me just explain this one, class, step by step for you to understand this one, class. Once again, class, if you have greater standard deviation, this one, you have greater standard deviation. So if you have greater standard deviation, that would be equal to higher variability and low consistency in the data set. Now, if you have smaller standard deviation, so greater standard deviation, if you have greater standard deviation, there will be higher variability and low consistency. Now, if you have smaller standard deviation, there will be lower variability and high consistency in the data set. Let me just explain this one, class, step by step, and then we're going to interpret the data. Now, this one right here, class, we have greater standard deviation, right? Of course, we know that 10 is greater than 2.23. 10, class, is too far away from 2.23. 10 is greater than 2.23. Now, if you have greater standard deviation, you have higher variability. Sir, question, sir, what do you mean by higher variability? It means, class, that the points are widely spread out from the mean, far from the mean. So what would be the mean, class? The population mean for student B, that would be 85, right? Now, once again, class, mean is the average. Once again, class, mean is the average. Now, the average score, class, for student B, once again, class, greater standard deviation, higher variability. Higher variability, it means that the points, the data points, the scores are too far away from the mean, far from the mean. Now, once again, mean is the average. Check this one out, class. For student B, the average, class, is 85. Once again, class, the average, class, of student B, that would be 85, right? The scores, class, that would be the average score, that would be 85. Now, check this one out, class. The scores of student B, we have 70, 75. The lowest score is 70. We have 75. We have 100, 95, 90, and then so on. Therefore, class, check this one out, class. 70, the score of 70 is too far away from the mean. There will be 15 points difference. Once again, 70 is too far away from the mean. Of course, we know that 100 is too far away from 85. 95 is too far away from 85. 75 is too far away from 85. Therefore, class, the students, class, we have low consistency. Therefore, class, we can say that student B, the performance of student B changes a lot from time to time because there are some scores coming from the student B below the average score. There are some scores of student B above the average score. 95 and 100, that would be above from the average score because the average score is just 85. So therefore, there are some scores of student B above the average. There are some scores below the average. That's why, class, you have low consistency. Therefore, class, the performance of student B changes a lot from one quiz to another. Now, how about for student A? Let's check this one out, the student A. Student A, that would be lower standard deviation. So you have lower, this is lower standard deviation. Now, if you have lower standard deviation, there will be lower variability. Now, what do you mean by lower variability? Now, lower variability, class, the data points are closer to the mean. It means, class, that the scores are closer to the mean. Now, what would be the mean for student A? Now, the population mean of student A, there would be 88.86. Check this one out, class. The scores of student A, the lowest score is 85. 85, class, is near from the average score. Once again, class, 85 is near from 88.86. The highest score is 92. 92, class, is near from 88.86. The difference, class, is just 4 point something. 91 is near from 88.86. Of course, 87 is very near from 88.86. Therefore, class, that's why you have higher consistency, because it shows that the students perform consistent across quizzes. The scores, class, is near from the average. Therefore, class, the performance of student A is consistent because the scores is near from the average. I hope it's clear for you, class. The scores is near from the average scores. That's why, class, we have lower variability because the points are closer to the mean. Once again, class, lower variability, it means the points are near from the mean, and you have higher consistency because the scores is near from the average score. Therefore, the student perform very well. Once again, the student performs very well. I hope it's clear for you, this one, class, with regards to lower variability and then higher consistency. So let me just write down, class, the interpretation of data for us to really understand this one. So let me just erase this one, class. We don't have enough space, class. Let me just write down the interpretation of data, class. Alright, so let's proceed now for our interpretation of data based on our given answer for the standard deviation. So once again, for student A, the standard deviation or the population standard deviation is equal to 2.23. So this means the scores or the quiz scores are very close to the mean. This shows low variability, meaning student A performs consistency across quizzes. And then for student B, the population standard deviation is equal to 10. So meaning the quiz scores are spread out far from the mean. This shows high variability, meaning student B performance changes a lot from one quiz to another. So that would be our interpretation, class. We explained that a while ago, and this will be our interpretation for student A and student B based on their answer, class, for the standard deviation, for the population standard deviation, and for the mean. Alright, so let's proceed now to question number 3. Discuss the implications of this finding. So let me just write my answer. We don't have enough space, class. Let me just write the answer here, class, for the discussion of the implications. Alright, let's do that. Alright, and then for question number 3 is we're going to discuss the implications of this finding. So that will be our outcomes or our conclusions. So therefore, for student A, has very consistent performance. Scores stay within a narrow range. And then for student B, indicates improvement over time or an even mastery. Alright, so that would be the end of our video, class. So once again, class, for the next part of our video is we're going to calculate the population variance and then the population standard deviation for student A and then student B. So feel free to see the video, class. I will just put the link on the description down below. So once again, class, I hope you learned something new today. If you like this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. You share it to your friends and to your classmates so that we can help more students. Once again, class, this is Teacher MJ. Have a great day, class. Goodbye for now. Bye-bye.